All right. I'm not sure how this is going to sound. I'm not doing it on my headphones that I have in my ear right now. But welcome to week three. We're getting ready to advance here in about 3 hours. We still have one person left that hasn't played their game. Taz, I believe. No, Taz and Maddie have both not played their games, but we will advance regardless at 9 p.m. Just going over a review for week two. Game day was at Penn State, Georgia. This was a thriller. This was everything it was marketed to be. A good rematch from last year. This time, Georgia takes it to make the series 1-1. Hopefully, we can get a rematch of these two teams in the playoffs. Because this was a back and forth game. This finished 49-42 in Georgia's favor, behind a 21-14 point third quarter. But it looked like it was just a matching each drive. Penn State was very effective on the ground, having 15 rushes for 171 yards, and Georgia through the air with 508 passing yards. So just a phenomenal day for both teams on offense in just different fashions. One dominant on the run, one dominant passing. Story here: 2 for 6 on third down for Penn State, 7 for 8 on third down for Georgia. Two interceptions, Penn State, one for Georgia. And time of possession was a very big swing here. Almost a quarter of time of possession, 7 minutes for Penn State, 13 minutes for Georgia. So recipes for success for Georgia. Penn State, it looks like, had more big plays. Their longest reception, longest run were both above 65 yards. Georgia looked like the better team. 508 yards of passing, 5 touchdowns, one interception for Bryce Underwood. And then both receivers, Lucky and Leacock, both over 100 yards receiving. So great day for them. Just good offensive performance from both teams, but Georgia looked like they had the edge on the offensive end. And both teams didn't really look like they got many stops in this game. This game was back and forth scoring wise. Not sure, except for the interceptions, if there were any stops besides that. It did look like there was two fourth down stops. Maybe that was really the only thing that happened that was remotely a stop there. But great game. We want to see these two teams again. Very interesting matchup. Next up, saying the SEC, we had Kentucky at Mississippi. Kentucky gets a big win here. They win 38-35. Ole Miss had a late comeback in the fourth quarter, but the Wildcats over there have a good rebound win, beat a nice Rebels team. Both teams with 3 turnovers, 3 interceptions for both teams. Kentucky dominated time of possession. They start their dual threat quarterback, Monty. He has 2 interceptions on the day. I don't know where the third one came from. That's interesting. But 296 yards passing, 61 yards on the ground for Dowdle, and a good day for Easton Messer, receiving wise. But good win for them. They bounce back after a loss week one, and they get things rolling in SEC play. Another SEC matchup, we had Tennessee taking on Arizona State. A very good offensive performance by Tennessee. They put up 689 yards of offense, 170 on the ground, 519 through the air. They go for two every play. That's something to look out for. 3 for 3 on 2 point conversions. No interceptions, which is great for them. Still give up 41 points, so they're going to want to clean up some things defensively. But players to look out for, we had their quarterback, Minchie, went for 519, 6 touchdowns, 0 picks. And then Deshaun Bishop went for 124 yards on the ground. So a good day offensively for Tennessee. They're going to want to continue that momentum after following week one. They got a good SEC slate for them, where they don't have to play any users. So we'll see what happens there. Next up, jumping over to the American. Nebraska hands East Carolina their first loss. This was a pretty much a quit after 21 minutes in the first quarter. East Carolina had put together some drives, but had ended in interceptions or fumbles. Unlucky for them, but that's just kind of what happens with these bigger powerhouses playing these lesser teams. Is even if you have a good drive, one mistake will derail you, and that Nebraska team's going to capitalize, especially offensively. East Carolina, they still have a lot of shots to rebound. I was very impressed by their performance, at least their ability to move the ball. But they fall here to a better Nebraska squad. Liberty takes care of business here. They beat Navy 63 to 19. 534 yards of offense for them. 6 for 7 on third down, only one interception. So a great day for them. They defeat a Navy team without Horvath. And 6 touchdowns and one interception and 500 yards for Malachi Nelson. He's going to be good this year. And their star receiver Mbakwe is going to be ferocious. He had 211 yards. That's a great win for Liberty. They continue to go 1-0 in the American. So we'll see what happens for them next. Heading over to the Big Ten to finish this off, we had Wisconsin taking on FCS Midwest. A great second win for Nebraska. They had 361 yards on the ground, so no one was stopping them through the ground. And then they had 323 passing yards. So easy win for them. They take care of business. It's just a fun one for them. Next, we had Missouri taking on Kansas. Kansas scored 3 points in the fourth quarter, and 0 points outside of the fourth quarter. So I don't know what happened there for, for Kansas, but they avoid the shutout here. Missouri scores 38 points. They have 169 yards on the ground. And just for Kansas, 25 rushes for 43 yards is not a recipe for success. Only 159 yards through the air and 3 interceptions. So just a absolutely abysmal performance from the Jayhawks, coming off a loss week one in heartbreaking fashion. It's going to be another tough year for them. I don't really expect them to make it too far without, unfortunately, rage quitting there. So we'll see if they defy the odds. If they make it past week four, I'll be surprised. Next up, jumping over to week three. Our game of the week is indeed again Georgia. They have the only competitive CPU game, or a ranked CPU game, I should say. They face at Oklahoma. That's a tough environment there in Norman. But they're going to look to continue to move the ball. That's a good offensive performance. We have not seen the result of Oklahoma versus CPU Michigan, but I expect Oklahoma to take care of business against a bad Michigan team. We'll see what happens. Should be a top 10 matchup here in Norman. Um, it's a terrible stadium pulse there too. It's surprisingly loud. I think they're a top 10 environment. I want to say they might be a top 20, but it's still annoying to play there. But this Georgia team, as long as they're playing, I project them to get the win. I think they win by over 20 points, but I think they're gonna want to make a statement here on this game. Also in the SEC, we have Tennessee at South Carolina. South Carolina, I believe they don't have Sellers anymore. He might be still there, but they fall 0-1 in week one. We'll see what happens with their week two matchup, but still a feisty environment over there. Um, I think Arizona State's a little bit better, so they should be fine with this one. It's another opportunity to get a win, but we'll see what happens. Hopping over the Big Ten, we have FCS Midwest at Nebraska. Shouldn't be any problems here. Nebraska, after 2 wins in the American, they get a lesser opponent. They're going to look to set up the ground game a lot this week, but should be an easy win. I think they get a win by over 45. Penn State and Buffalo play at Penn State Stadium, Happy Valley. Should be another easy win for Penn State. I think they rebound nicely. They put it on Buffalo here after losing last week. I think they get it done by over 40 points. They're going to want to establish that run game, or excuse me, establish the passing game. Avery Johnson was solid, but I think there's still some room for improvement through the air, and I think they worked that out. Ohio State plays Kent State. I believe Ohio State should get a dub tonight. Also playing Kent State week three. I think they beat them pretty easily. Kent State's a miserable MAC program, and I think they put it on them too, winning by over 50. We'll see if Matt plays this game tonight, but he then travels to Charlotte, North Carolina to play Virginia. Kind of a weird matchup that's going to take place next year. Not really a rivalry between these two teams. I imagine honestly West Virginia fans would travel better to Charlotte than Virginia fans. Well, we'll see what goes on, takes place here. West Virginia is going to look after losing week one to a CPU to stack some wins together here, and it's a good opportunity against this Cavs team who's not very good. So hopefully they're able to play tonight against their FCS team, get a win, then get a win here against Virginia. Sort of a competitive matchup too. Pittsburgh, who's still ranked after beating that West Virginia team, is traveling to Madison, Wisconsin to play at Camp Rundle Stadium against Wisconsin. And I believe Wisconsin's going to get a dub here, no problem. But this Pittsburgh team gave Matt some problems in week one. So hopefully this Wisconsin team can escape without any problems, but who knows? I think it's going to be a look ahead spot. I think Wisconsin's got some tough games in the Big Ten coming up, so hopefully they just take care of business here. Don't worry about future opponents and get the dub. Next up, we have ECU going to Utah State. A little bit of an interesting matchup there. ECU, their goal this year is to make a bowl game. Tough break against Nebraska, but expected loss. They're going to want to take care of business and make this American Conference competitive for Liberty. Otherwise, Liberty's just going to walk away with this. So they need to get a dub here. This is not for conference, but this is going to be big for maybe future playoffs for them. ECU doesn't have any other users besides Liberty. So if they can stack some CPU games here, then it should be no problem for them to get to the playoffs. It's going to come down to that ECU Liberty game. So we'll see. ECU just needs to take care of business every game they can. Liberty at, excuse me, Coastal Carolina is traveling to Liberty. This Coastal Carolina team in NCAA football is abysmal. They've been abysmal past couple of years now. After they lost their guys, so we'll see what happens here. But I think Liberty they have another win here. This time they don't have to travel to an opponent they host. So unless it's raining, I think Liberty wins this game by over 35 points. Their offense this year has been electric. But we'll see what happens. This is a good week for a lot of teams to rebound or continue their win streaks because there's no user games. So we'll see what happens. I expect both these teams to get a dub, or all these teams get a dub, I should say. But next week we have some interesting matchups. Week four, just a little preview without kind of going into detail. We'd start some Big Ten games. We have West Virginia, Nebraska, and Ohio State, Penn State. So I don't think we have any SEC matchups, but should be an interesting week. It's a good time to get ahead, beat some opponents, and then we'll see you guys back here for a week three recap, week four preview. But get those games done. Make sure that you're readying up when you play your games. So do any recruiting that you have to do after that, so we can advance and just keep this thing moving. Did a good less of a great job this week. We have a little delay in sim, but I believe we can get back on track. So y'all take care. Good luck this week.